backhoe, taking the usable portion of the trees, of the trunks below the branch line, putting it on a conveyor, and then it's moving up to a saw, and the trunks go along and they are cut into essentially stapling portions. The round pieces of trunk are getting pushed off the conveyor belt, they roll onto the ground, and then a guy has this big claw thing that he sticks on the sides of it, pull it up, and then it comes under a splitter. Now when the splitter comes down, it has 6 tons of force, and it just cuts through the logs just like a knife through butter. They're cut with the grain, and they are quartered for the quarters to move on to the next part where they're further cut down into staves. They cut with the grain so that the wine doesn't have any channels to leak out the barrel. Barrels come in typically 27 and 22 millimeters, depending on if they're thin stave or if they're regular staves. They cut them like about 5 millimeters thicker than that because the wood itself holds 85% humidity when it's first cut, and after it goes through the seasoning process it has less than 20% humidity. So they have to account for that shrinkage when they cut it. And since they're cutting it like on a pie shape and they have the saw coming into the widths, each stave is going to have a different width to it, which later on down the line adds to the overall strength of the barrel because you have all these different widths of staves. So the saw takes the stave no matter what the width of it was, where it was cut from that pie shape, and it trims off the edges so that you're down to the usable portion of the stave. If you had all wide staves, you would put a lot of stress on the boards and it could cause cracking in it. And if you had all narrow staves, you're increasing the amount of points where they come together, where there could be leakage. So when you'd use a variety of broad versus narrow staves, you have more integrity in the barrel and in the ability for it to not leak and to hold wine.